Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Welcome back, True Believer gang. Today's game has Max winning the die roll and starting us off. He draws and plays a tap Steam Vents. Metchia's got a Spire of Industry, and then pays 1 colorless for a Dragonfire Blade. Arja displays a tapped Crypt of Agadeem. Sammy draws, and plays a tapped Drowned Catacombs. Max has a Rage Over Ridge Thicket as his land for turn, and then pays 2 for a Bloom Tender. Metchia plays a Mountain, and loses 1 from the Spire to help cast Tony Stark. He then plays out a Mox Amber and ships the turn. Arja plays a Swamp and casts Feed the Swarm, targeting Tony Stark. Metchia responds though with a Fierce Guardianship and counters it, and Arja passes turn. Sammy's also got a Swamp, and he just casts Norman Osborn. Max plays out a Rootbound Crag which comes in untapped, and then pays 3 for a High Alert. He then taps the Bloom Tender for 3 to help plot an Outcaster Trailblazer. He passes after that. Metchia's got 2 mana for a Liquid Metal Torque, but no land for turn. He then taps enough to equip Tony with the Dragonfire Blade, and just passes after that. Arja has a Swamp, and casts his second favorite card with a Fleshbag Marauder. The table all sacrifices a creature, and Arja then passes turn. Sammy's land for turn is a Thundering Falls, and he surveils 1. He then pays 2 for a Dimir Signet. Max has the Sea of Clouds, and then has enough mana to bring out the Fantastic Four. He follows up with the Plotted Trailblazer, making a mana as it comes in. He also remembers to pick a mode from the Fantastic Four entering, putting to field a Ku's original wall token, and then drawing from the Trailblazer. He then uses the green mana from the Trailblazer to help cast a Noble Hierarch, and once it resolves, passes turn. Matt just plays an island for turn, and then taps enough to recast Tony Stark. Arja's land drop is a Gaia Reach Sanitarium, which he immediately activates. This has the table drawing a card and then discarding a card, with Arja pitching a Runescarred Demon notably. He then pays 1 black for Reanimate to bring it back. This has him losing 7 life, and he tutors for a card to hand, and passes to Sammy. Sammy's got a Swamp for turn, and brings out Dr. Doom. He then moves to combat, and gets the Connive trigger on Dr. Doom, which has him discarding a non-land card, and gives Dr. Doom a +1/+1 counter. Max plays a land, and then brings out Arcades. He picks the mode to draw a card as it enters from the Fantastic Four, and then casts Lightning Greaves. He moves them onto Arcades, and going to combat, the Fantastic Four and Arcades go at Mathieu, while the wall token hits at Sammy. Both of his opponents take the hit, and Max then passes turn. Matt draws for turn, and casts a Sword of Feast and Famine. He then gears it up on Tony Stark, and swings him at Max. Because of the pro-green, Max can't block, and after it connects, Metchia untaps his lands, while Max discards a card. Matt's second main phase then has him casting a Swiftfoot Boots. He equips onto Tony as well, and passes. Arja plays out a Swamp, and then activates the Crypt of Agadeem for 3 black mana, which he uses to cast a Phyrexian Arena. Arja then casts an Expedition Map, and passes. Sammy's land drop is at Training Grounds, and he then casts Cool But Rude. He levels it up, and then goes to combat, conniving on Doom again. This has Sammy discarding a non-land card, dealing 2 to his opponents from Cool But Rude, and giving Doom another +1/+1 counter. Sammy then swings Dr. Doom at Arja, who takes the hit, and Sammy passes turn. Max untaps and draws, and in his main phase, casts Decimate, picking the mode from the Fantastic Four to make a wall. This draws him a card from Arcades. He then targets Cool But Rude, Runescarred Demon, the Gaia Reach Sanitarium, and Sword of Feast and Famine. Responding to this, Sammy casts a free deflecting swap because Dr. Doom is out, and changes the targets to hit the Fantastic Four, the Expedition map, and High Alert. The spell then resolves, destroying them, and Max then plays a tap breeding pool. Going to combat, Max swings a wall at Mathieu, while the Trailblazer and Arcades go at Sammy. Once again, both of his opponents take the hit, and Max passes. Mathieu starts his turn with Padim, Console of Innovation. He then goes to combat, swinging Tony Stark at Arja. Arja takes the hit, and Matt untaps his 3 lands while Arja discards a card. Matt then taps enough, losing 1 to help cast Universal Surveillance, drawing 4 more. None of them are lands though, and he has to pass. Arja loses 1 to the arena, drawing from it and for turn. He plays a swamp, and just passes after that. Sammy's turn has him casting a Surly Badgesaur, which has Arja responding by casting Liliana's Triumph. This has each of Arja's opponents sacrificing a creature, and the dinosaur then enters. Sammy passes after that. Max plays a land, and then recasts the Fantastic Four, losing a life from Horizon Canopy. He then picks the mode to draw a card, and gives them the Lightning Greaves. Arcades and the Trailblazer then go at Sammy, while the Wall and Fantastic Four go at Mathieu. Once again, Mathieu and Sammy both take the full hit, and Max passes. Mathieu draws and still cannot find a land, and instead casts an Arcane Signet. He then pays 1 blue for a Thought Monitor, drawing 2 more cards as it comes in. Thankfully, one of them is a land with a Sulphur Falls, and Mathieu then casts Emery, who mills 4 as she enters. He then goes to combat, and swings Tony at Max, who takes the 3. Max discards while Mathieu untaps his 4 lands this time, and he then casts the Reality Chip, and looks at his top card. Mathieu then taps enough for Walking Ballista, and he comes in with 2 +1/+1 counters. He then passes, and during the end step, Arja casts Rowan's Grim Search, unbargained. This just has him losing 2 and drawing 2. Arja loses 1 to the arena, drawing from it and for turn. He then plays a swamp and looks at the graveyards. Arja then pays 5 mana for a black market and passes after that. Sammy's turn has him drawing and then flashing back Faithless Looting, drawing 2, but more importantly, discarding 2. He discards a creature, which has the Surly Badgesaur gaining a +1/+1 counter, and a non-creature, which has it fighting Emery. He also more importantly deals 4 damage to his opponents with Cool But Rude. Going to combat, Sammy then swings the Badgesaur at Max. He gets to draw and discard with a Cool But Rude on attack, and pitches another creature. This gives the Badgesaur another +1/+1 counter, and deals 2 more to his opponents. Sammy's second main phase then has him casting Tombstone, and as he comes into play, he gets to return the Green Goblin to his hand. Max starts his turn off by casting a Thundermane Dragon, making a wall from the Fantastic Four, and drawing a card from the Trailblazer. He also draws a card from the wall thanks to Arcades. Max then casts Omnath, and draws a card from the Trailblazer, plus deals 3 more to his opponents with the Fantastic Four. Mathieu is quick to counter Omnath though with a Metallic Rebuke, and Max then moves to combat. He swings Arcades and the Fantastic Four at Sammy, and a wall token at Mathieu. Matt jumps with a Thought Monitor, while Sammy blocks the Fantastic Four with Tombstone, and takes the hit from Arcades. Max then passes turn. Mathieu draws and transforms Tony Stark into the invincible Iron Man. He then moves to combat, and Iron Man triggers, putting to field from his hand Argentum Armor, equipped onto Iron Man. Mathieu then swings Iron Man at Max, and on attack, destroys the dragon with the armor trigger. This is Arja gaining a counter on the black market, and Max then takes the full hit in the air, going up to 19 commander damage. Mathieu also gets a Sword of Feast and Famine trigger, with Max discarding a card, and Mathieu untapping his lands. Matt's second main phase then has him casting a Felwar Stone, and passing. Arja loses 1 to the arena, drawing from it, and for turn. He then casts Buried Alive, using the black market mana to help, and he goes to find a Stitcher's Supplier, Undead Butler, and Grey Merchant of Asphodel. He puts them all to the graveyard, and then casts some Mausoleum Secrets. He reveals Songs of the Damned to put to hand, and then immediately casts it. He then uses the rest of his mana, including the Crypt, to make a total of 6 black mana. This is enough to cast Command the Dreadhorde. He's only able to bring back the Grey Merchant of Asphodel because that walking ballista is threatening him. This has him losing 5 life, and the Grey Merchant comes in and triggers. With the Grey Merchant ability on the stack, Mathieu uses his mana to give the walking ballista a 3rd counter, and then removes all 3 counters to blast Arja down to 1. The Grey Merchant trigger then resolves, draining each of Arja's opponents for 8. This is Arja gaining 24, and with Mathieu getting taken out, Arja then passes turn. Sammy untaps and draws. He then levels up Cool But Rude, which essentially gambles. He then ends up randomly discarding Feed the Swarm, and his opponents each take 2 from Cool But Rude, and Badgesaur fights nothing. Sammy then plays out the One Ring, gaining protection from everything, and he then activates the ring, putting a burden counter onto it, and drawing a card. Max draws and casts Clouth in his main phase. He makes a wall from the Fantastic Four, and draws a card both from Arcades as the wall enters, and a card from the Trailblazer for Clouth. Max then plays Exotic Orchard as his land for turn. He then takes one from the Horizon Canopy to help cast Explore, drawing a card. Max really doesn't have much choice at this point as he's faithing lethal from both Sammy and Arja, so he moves the Greaves onto the new wall and swings out at Arja. Max then adds 17 mana from Clouth on attack, and Arja puts his Runescar Demon in front of Clouth, and the Grey Merchant of Asphodel in front of the Fantastic Four. Arja then takes the rest and drops to 3. Max's second main phase then has him casting a Rampant Growth to go and find a basic.
Pretty cool. Tell me the land
He's
has a 4 on it.
No, because he's tutoring for a land.
For a land. This land is fantastic.
Well done. Well done.
And he then passes turn. Once more, Arja loses 1 to the arena, drawing from it, and drawing for turn. He then gains his mana from the Black Market, which he uses to help cast a Violent Tumor. He tutors for a card to put to the graveyard, which is Dread Return. He then activates his Crypt of Agadim to help cast a Marshland Bloodcaster. Don't worry about what the card does though, because he immediately sacrifices it, along with 2 other creatures, to flashback Dread Return. This brings back Grey Merchant of Asphodel. This drains the table again, but for 6, with Arja gaining 12, and notably the life drain from the Grey Merchant is actually not stopped by the One Ring. Sammy loses his protection on his upkeep, and then takes 1 from the ring. He then activates it before moving to his draw step, and puts a burden counter onto it and draws 2 more, and then draws for turn. He then plays an island for turn, and casts Chainer Nightmare Adept. He then uses an Animate Dead, and brings back Arja's Runescar Demon. This also has it gaining haste from Chainer, as he didn't cast it from hand. Sammy then tutors for a card as it enters, and he grabs Gamble, which he actually doesn't need to reveal, but he does it anyway, because he casts it right away. He tutors for a card, and then randomly ends up discarding a creature to it, which deals 2 to Arja from Cool But Rude, and gives the Surly Badgesaur a +1/+1 counter. Sammy then discards a card to Chainer to give whatever creature he wants in his graveyard the ability to be cast, but more importantly deals 2 to Arja from Cool But Rude. As is a Knight's Whisper, he also gets to have the Badgesaur fight the Grey Merchant. And with the way now clear, Sammy's then able to swing in for the win and takes the game. Game review time. So this was our first Marvel game, and yeah, this set seems interesting. There's a lot of legendaries and a lot of copies of different types of legendaries. Like I think there's 4 Tony Starks or Iron Man versions in this. It's a bit overwhelming. As a whole, I think the set has a lot of fun cards, but nothing really screams to us at this point. We've built a couple other decks to try and, have some fun, and we'll see how those go in the future. Otherwise, Cool But Rude is probably the strongest card this game, and I don't think it actually had to be in a Dr. Doom deck to be good. It just was so much better. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.